It's another week of learning in our fourth grade class. It is also the last week of January, so let's get to it. Welcome everyone. For me, this is my first day of this week since yesterday I took the day off to give myself time to rest from my incident on Friday. If you want to hear more about that, watch my previous vlog. Towards the end, I talk a little bit more about it. Right now, I got to make this quick because I got to pick up the kiddos, but I did leave sub plans yesterday, which I'll show you later. And I wanted to show you what the sub teacher left on the board for the students to know what they were working on yesterday. So they pretty much left part of the schedule, and pardon the noise outside, but kids are coming in the building right now. So she left this part of the schedule on the board, and she also put some other questions, I guess they were going over it themselves, that they were working in social studies for yesterday. Like I said, I'll give you more of a glimpse sometime today, hopefully, if I remember, but I gotta go pick up my students and start our day of learning. All right, we made it to the end of the day and I just finished sending emails. We had a faculty meeting after school. I finished planning for the rest of the week since I wasn't here on Friday and I was planning to do that. So I had only planned for yesterday and today, so I finished planning for the rest of the week. And I'm good to go. We had a really good day. So this morning we started with our iReady testing, which took all morning pretty much. Well, not all morning, to like 10:05, which was our scheduled Spanish time, but it was canceled. So we ended up introducing Literacy Week since it started yesterday and I wasn't here yesterday. So I read to them the novel, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane by Kate DiCamillo. So we started reading the first 5 chapters today and they got caught up in the story. And now we'll continue reading it for the rest of the week. So let's see how far we get by the end of the week if we read about 5 chapters a day. We'll see. But they're captivated by the story and they definitely want to find out what happens next. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it. So then after that, it was time for math. So we didn't have time for writing today. And I'll just make that time up tomorrow. They are going to take the second baseline assessment that the district gives us on Thursday. And next week, we're just going to debrief that and go over informative essay writing, because right now we are on our what we call writing crunch time, because the writing test is after they come back from spring break. I believe it's the first week of April. So we come back from spring break and have 1 week in March left, but it's not that week. It's going to be the first week of April. So we have some time to kind of get ready and tweak our writing skills to the best of our abilities. So we did our math and we ended up going over the weekly review. We did Monday and Tuesday to make up for the fact that I wasn't here yesterday. And we finished chapter 7. We ended up doing a review game in math, which took up our bonus math time today. And it also ended up taking up our social studies time because it was just getting so good. And I just want to show you, they did Attack the Castle. Out of different review games that I've done this year, Attack the Castle is their ultimate favorite one. So I've done the Connect 4 with the Post-its. I've done another one. I forgot what it is. But we've done about 3 different review games using our chapter book, our review test in our chapter book. And Attack the Castle is the one they always gravitate towards and gets them really highly engaged. So for this one, since they're all in houses now, I had them grouped together according to their classroom house. And this is how the final scoreboard looked. This is my typical Attack the Castle board. This is the one that has 4 castles, which is the most that I had put together. I'm sure there's a way that I can maybe edit it so I can have 5 castles, but for now, since we have 4 houses, that's what I did, and I just used a text box to name each kingdom according to their house. I ended up putting these sticky notes up here by their kingdom color, so it was easy to just duplicate it and place it wherever the students needed me to put it. And right here is the winner. So your Rafiki had the least amount of attacks. And I also have graphics for each shield or crest that goes with each house. So I just put it by that castle. And the way that I selected them was using the Wheel of Names, which I just learned a little bit more about it. So there is an advanced option. And in this option, you can add an image. Also, if you don't go to advanced, you can also add an image. But with this advanced option, you can name each section and you can even color the background. And I used the dropper to get like the color of the shield and then do a lighter version of it so that we can get it to go. And let me not do that. Oh boy, what did I just do? Hold on, I don't want to change my color. So let's just leave it at that. And it selects each house as we go. Now I like the advanced version because as I select the house, I now have the option to hide the house. You can see it kind of goes a little bit transparent here. And that way I don't pick the same house that had just gone. And then once every house has gone and they have become hidden, as you see here, this is the circle without any houses, then I can just toggle this little box here and they all start showing up back in the wheel. So I really love this. I ended up getting an account which is free so that I can save this wheel and I can use it in the future for other review games or other activities that the houses will do. But again, this review game, highly engaging. They absolutely loved it. And then at the end, what I ended up doing was giving dojo points according to first place, second place, and third place. Here we had 2 third place kingdoms that were tied. So they got 3 points. Second place got 4 points and first place got 5 points. And that went for their house points, which I have created here, as you can see. So I have Kalosini, Revert, Yurifiki, and Valor, and each student is in these different houses, and I can award each house a group point that will then also apply to the student's individual score. So that was definitely the highlight of today. Now the students will take their topic assessment for chapter 7 tomorrow on adding and subtracting fractions, and hopefully with this review, they'll feel a little bit more confident in completing their test tomorrow. So that's where I am. By the way, if you're interested in this house sorting system, I do sell it on TPT, and it includes the images so that you can add it to your dojo. And if you'd like a tutorial on how I do that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll plan to do that for a future video. That is all I have for today, Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, and it's now Wednesday, the end of the day. Just finished having a very long grade level meeting with my team. And today, of course, is early release, so the day was pretty short. This morning, we continued to work on our iReady diagnostic assessment. And I'm happy to say all my students are done with reading, and I now have 4 students that need to finish math. So hopefully they'll get to finish that tomorrow. So we'll be done with AP2 and we can continue on our regularly scheduled program. So after that, it was time for our reading. So we continue reading The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. Oh my God, I don't know if I mentioned that yesterday, but this is the book right here. It's by Kate DeCamillo. I highly recommend it. Maybe I did mention it, but we read a couple more chapters. We actually read up to chapter 12. There are 27 chapters in the book. So maybe if we continue doing a couple of chapters like that every day, maybe we'll be done by Friday. But the students are really enjoying the story and following Edward on his journey, and also observing how he is changing as a character as different things happen to him on his journey. So then after that, it was time for our recess. And then of course, we also had our snack at the same time. And then we ended up doing some math. Because of the testing, we ran out of time for writing. So in math, the students were taking their chapter 7 test, and they actually ended up needing some more time. So we continued working on our chapter test after lunch. So I didn't get to social studies either. So we have some catching up to do, but that's how it goes sometimes. All right, I gotta really get out of here, so I'll see you tomorrow. We are now in Thursday, end of the day Thursday, and I am leaving on time today, or should I say earlier than usual. It is 4:05 right now. I actually was gonna leave at 3:30, but I've been arranging and organizing some of my writing folders because I do want to give my teachers some resources that I've had from last year and that I've also worked on this year, so that we can use all those resources for the writing crunch time that we're on. I actually did the calculation today. So we have about 43 or 44 school days of instruction left before the writing test. The writing test is on April 7th, which is a Thursday. So trying to get in the hang of that and trying to make sure that we are addressing everything that we need to address so the students feel prepared for the test that day. I have not done an agenda on the board all week. Maybe I'll bring it tomorrow. We'll see. But this morning we started with more testing, along with having the rest of the students that were done work on their weekly language review. We worked on that. We read a couple more chapters from The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. We made it to chapter 21, I believe, or 20. So we have about 6 more chapters to go. I think we read 21. So we're at the home stretch, and they are excited to know how the story ends. We ended up introducing chapter 8 for math, which is working on multiples of fractions, as well as multiplying a whole number and a fraction. So I kind of introduced it a little bit to them so that they can get a hang of it. And tomorrow we'll go over some practice problems so that they can work in groups and then work independently to practice these skills. And we ended the day with social studies, which I want to give you a little highlight on. I went ahead and used the slides that come with our resource. So this is the essential question, and we went over the previews area. So we read the introduction for the chapter, and we then started looking at different graphic organizers that the students are going to use. So we practiced by reading some of these paragraphs and deciding which graphic organizer will best work with this information. This is the main idea, so a spoke diagram would be a good idea for it, and for some reason it is showing me this magnifying glass for Pinterest and it's not letting me, so maybe if I do it this way. There we go. So, sorry, I need to back up. So the spoke diagram will be great for main idea and supporting details. And then we went ahead for the next paragraph. And this one gives you some information on the negative impacts and the positive impacts. So definitely a T-chart. And the next paragraph talks about different dates of how Florida switched control from Spain to Britain, back to Spain. So a timeline will be a good graphic organizer for that. So the students are going to be thinking of that as they read the chapter. And I always love to bring in those reading skills across the content areas and use graphic organizers as well. We then went ahead and went over the vocabulary for this chapter. And then I had a couple students go ahead and start coming to the board and dragging the different vocabulary words into the correct area so that the students can have a preview of the vocabulary and go ahead and do a little bit of preview for that. And we checked our answers. And then we started reading the first section, which talked about the Native Americans of Florida. And after learning about each tribe, so this is the Appalachee. So right now we only have the first letter or the first 2 letters. So the Appalachee were very good with raising corn or farming corn. The Timucuas were very good with hunting alligators. The Tocobaga were great with shells. The Calusa were expert boaters, and then the Manatee were for the Tequesta because that was one of their food items. And then we checked our answers and they were all correct. And then we started looking at why these images best represented each Native American tribe. So we went ahead and did that. And now we left it here because this will be the next section that we read, which are all the Spanish explorers and the years and the key action that they had in Florida history. So we'll go ahead and do that, not tomorrow, next week. And again, this is a timeline, so it's great to connect that to the graphic organizers as well. And that's it for today, Thursday. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move us on to Friday. We are now on Friday at the end of the day, and I need to dash out of here because I am going to Orange Theory after taking a break for 2 weeks for obvious reasons. But I wanted to let you know we've had a very long day. I have been very stressed out about, teaching in general. And I feel like I'm just trying my best, and I do care a lot for my students and their progress and how they're doing. So I guess that's what's elevating my stress, and then the expectations that are put upon us. But I'm just going to manage it little by little. So I'm glad that I'm taking some time for myself this evening and going to Orange Theory and getting a good workout. And then I'm going to meet up with a teacher afterwards, and we're going to have dinner at Panera. Then I'm going to go home, take a shower, and relax for my rest of my night. Probably play some video games because that's comforting for me. But our day started with the students taking their 2-hour practice writing test. It was informative. The topic was invasive species and what problems they cause. So the passages talked about a variety of different invasive species and what problems they cause. There were 3 sources. The students had those 2 hours in order to analyze the prompt, read the passages, gather their evidence, plan their writing, write their essay, revise and edit their essay. So I am taking their writing home. Not sure if I'm really gonna take time to read it this weekend. We'll see, because next week I do want to do a couple of mini lessons with this prompt to help the students kind of understand what the expectations were, so that they can also go ahead and revise those papers and try to increase the score that they got from today's test with the little mini lessons that I'll do all throughout next week. I didn't finish my writing plans and my reading plans and basically my plans in general. I got stuck in my reading plans because I wasn't sure what I actually wanted to do next week when I wanted to give the test. So I'll just finalize that this weekend. I'm giving myself work to do this weekend. I'm trying not to do that. But I think it'll give me more peace of mind on Monday. I'll just dedicate a couple of minutes, not like a lot. So we'll go ahead and see how that goes. So as you can imagine, that took a chunk of time in the morning. So we didn't have time for a couple of different things because of the test. We did have our recess time because I think we all needed it. And they went to PE today. And at the end of the day, we finished our book, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, and they absolutely loved it. I got teary-eyed at the end because it's just that good. Again, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend you pick it up. All right, so let me give you a glimpse of that reading test from today, and then I'm gonna get on going. So this is the writing test. I meant writing, not reading. And this is the planning sheet. I do copy it on yellow paper so that it looks like the real one they get. And they had 3 sources, like I mentioned, and let me try to open this. So they had From Pet to Threat, Sick Pets, Sick People, talk about zoonosis, and there it is right there, and Alien Invasion, Invasive Species, and here is the actual prompt. And of course, they analyzed the prompt, and then they had 3 writing pages to write their essays. So we're going to be working with this closely next week. Stay tuned for those videos because I will try to share with you what I've been doing. This is a similar prompt to what I worked with my virtual students last year. So I have a couple of things that I did create with them last year. And yeah, that's where we are right now. So I know this was kind of a short week, 4 days, but I did the best I could, right? So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello, dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.